This anti-American demonstration is brought to you by the Pentagon. That's right. American taxpayers are paying people, many from the Middle East and now citizens, as role players to train U.S. troops. Taxpayers also paid for the village of Eugen. It's not in the Middle East, though it sure looks like it might be. It's in California, in the middle of the Mojave Desert, at Fort Irwin. The village and the role players are all part of what's called full environment training. When we were at Fort Irwin, so were troops from Fort Bliss, Texas, many of them new recruits. Colonel Robert E. Lee McGee, their commanding officer.
If we don't give them an opportunity to be exposed to that here and now, they'll struggle with it for real.
Lieutenant Colonel Gerald Rappaccini works here at Fort Irwin preparing various scenarios to train the troops.
If we were making a movie, they're hired to be the civilians.
Yes, ma'am. We script major events, but the individual actions between the soldiers and the civilians, that's not scripted. We can't get that specific.
At Fort Irwin, there are a dozen mock villages, while across the country there are over 200 such sites on 100 military bases.
Our role players will be here trying to sell their goods.
The largest in the world, here in the Mojave, has more than 500 buildings, complete with 2 mosques.
So is that you causing that smoke over there?
From a hilltop control center, they can pump smoke and audio into the dwellings.
Wow, look at this.
So can you imagine trying to clear a building with all this smoke?
Okay, and where are the stairs? And I mean, these are all the kinds of combat situations they might
that they may find themselves
in. It's very disorienting.
The training is designed to make it less so. It's also big business. Every year, thousands of role players earn as much as $50,000 for 20 weeks of employment, actually living in the mock towns without running water for 2 weeks at a time. In a year-long investigation, NBC News has identified a network of 256 companies in 46 states, providing role players and receiving more than $250 million a year in government contracts. But despite the big money involved, there has never been a comprehensive audit by the GAO regarding their effectiveness.
In every possible way, the National Training Center attempts to do its utmost to replicate the conditions that the U.S. Army faces here in the world today.
But the training isn't perfect. After all that money spent on the training, those soldiers we met from Texas were not sent to the Middle East. Tonight, they're in South Korea.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.